Alright, I'm going to try this again. We're at Wayne National Forest. We're at the campsite. I was going to show you this gnarly looking tree here. It's big. Huge tree. I mean, that thing, probably 5 foot in diameter. All hollowed out inside though. So it probably ain't gonna, I don't know how much longer it's got, but being hollowed out like that, I can't see it living too much longer. Never know though. Anyway, this road, I think this is an old driveway right here. There's a gravel road out there. I found this a couple years ago when I was camping out at the horse camp, and I drove around and found this spot. And I drove back. I think it's a driveway that comes back off of the road. Dead ends right there. And I think there used to be a house over here, is what it looks like. Made a little fire ring. You see there's remnants of a chimney, which has come real handy for cutting firewood. I just lay it across there and cut off pieces. But there's remnants of the chimney there. There's bricks. There's another part of the chimney. There's bricks laying all over. So I'm not sure where the house was exactly. But I don't know if it was over in this area or if it was over where I got my tent. And those trees there, because that house had to have been here 100 years ago, because all that's left is the chimney. Everything else is gone. It takes a long time for wood and stuff to rot, so rot away to nothing. Anyway, we're going to do some exploring. There's no trail, but I sprayed us both down good with our natural spray. Wally hates it. It's peppermint oil, but it works really good on ticks. So now that we're sprayed down pretty good, it's stinking. We're going to do some exploring back in here. I didn't want him bringing no ticks into bed tonight. I don't want them either. But I'm not going to let that keep me from going in the woods. I'm wanting to try something. I have that Scaniverse app. And I saw the other day where somebody scanned a tree structure. I don't know why I never thought of that. I thought that was a good idea. So if I find one, I'm going to try scanning it. Because sometimes it's hard to show it on camera what you're looking at. Versus being right there, you can see why it doesn't look natural. But when you look at it on a picture or in a video, two-dimensional, sometimes it's hard to tell what in the world the person's talking about. So I think that Scaniverse might be a good way to show tree structure. Some deer, scat. I think that's a buck. Oh, there's an old fence here. Barbed wire fence. Although it doesn't look that old. I don't know what that's for. Just one little strand from there over. Back at camp yesterday, I found a hole that had a stick in it. I remembered Randy Harrington mentioning finding those over at the 400, the place where he goes, him and Shane Carpenter. So I'm going to be keeping an eye out for, see if I see any more of them. Because it could have just been a hole that a stick fell in. So I picked up the stick and looked at it. Couldn't tell if it had been used to dig the hole. It didn't look like it had. So it may have just fell in the hole. Maybe nothing. But it may be something, so something I'll keep an eye out for. Try this out. Hey, it works. Okay. Got on my tactical vest. I got my thermal, my little man purse. So I got my thermal there. See this? This is my phone. I use it for a monitor so I can see what's going on with that camera, because the camera's got such a little screen. And I can adjust. I can turn it left or right, up and down. It's kind of nice. A little selfie stick. Oh, I got my, let me get that again. No, don't want to do it. Huh. Can't get it to turn around now. Oh well. I got my headphones on. That's what I was going to show you. And with my recorder mounted on there. I mounted it with a rubber band. That way I don't have to carry it around in my hand. And I found out that it makes a lot of noise when I'm carrying it, and I didn't realize it until I watched some of the videos back, or listened to it. When I listened to the recording, I could hear there's a lot of noise that I didn't realize I was creating by carrying it. So I mounted on my headphones. That seems to be a lot better. Plus I got a hand free now. It's always good to have at least one hand free when you're trudging around in here and trying to go up and down hills. It'd be nice to have a film crew just walk around behind me, but no, I don't have that. I don't even have anybody go with me. I just all solo act, me and Wally, which is, it's okay. But it would be nice sometimes to have somebody else, another pair of eyes. I've looked at stuff before and thought, hey, that looks interesting. Then somebody say, well, it's probably blah, blah, blah. And I'll go, oh, yeah, I didn't think of that. You're probably right. So it's good to have another perspective. Trying to stay in somewhat open areas. A lot of briars through here. All that right there. You get torn up going through that, and that's where they go. They go right through it. Seems like, I remember one of the more recent sightings in Ohio was along the Little Miami River on a bike path. There was a woman, I think it was a woman and her daughter, and they saw it on the path ahead of them, and then it went off the path, it ducked off. So they ran up to where they saw it, and they were going to try to follow it and get a better look. When they got up there, it was all briars. They said they didn't know how it could have walked through there, but that's where it went. No way they could follow it. I guess they just, I don't know, build up a tolerance to getting scratched up. I don't know. Don't seem to bother them though. And it's good for them because it makes it hard to follow them. A lot going on right there. Two trees bent over. I guess maybe that tree, although that tree doesn't look all that big, it doesn't seem like it would be enough weight to pull them two over. I don't know. I see stuff like that, it makes me wonder, because this tree is right here. That's where, see all them going straight up. So how did that tree over there catch this tree when it fell and bend it over like that? I don't know. I see stuff like that and I think that doesn't seem natural, but I know a lot of weird things can happen in the woods. Snow load and wind. Hard to say. That's the only thing I could think is that snow load bent that tree over ahead of time and then that other tree fell. But why didn't it bend none of the other ones over, just that one? Seems kind of odd. So I got a wall of briars right here. Wally's going under it. I'm not going to try to go under it, that's for sure. Be nice to have a trail to walk on, but this is when you find stuff. A lot of times this is when you act like this with no trail. Luckily I got my Gaia GPS app, so it runs off. Well, even I have a signal, surprisingly, but even if I didn't, it runs off satellite, so it will track me. So I can find my way back to camp no matter how much running around I do, unless my phone goes dead. Then I might be hurting. But Wally probably could find his way. There's been several times where Wally will start going one direction and I'll say, no, it's this way. And then I realize he was right. I should have known to trust him instead of me. Thought this might be a little creek, but it's just a runoff where water runs off from the hill. Still might be a chance of finding a print or something. Something's been walking through here. Stepped over this stick right here. Looks like a possible step right there. This ground is hard though. I mean, it's solid. What do you think, Wally? That's why I had to spray you down so we could get back in here. I know you don't like that smell, but I know you like getting out in the woods like this. So gotta take one with the other. He hates that smell. He started rolling on the ground right after I sprayed him. It is a pretty strong smell. I mean, I can smell it pretty good, so I can only imagine how it is for him. Oh, there is water in it. Yeah. Have to look for some prints along here. Then I'll have to hike all the way back out to get my plaster. That's the one thing I forgot to grab was my little backpack. So I got plaster in it. I even mentioned it before I left. I said, I got to come out and get my backpack, and then I forgot. But I have plaster in the van if I do find something. And believe me, if I found a 16-inch print in the mud, I would definitely be going back and getting it. The only prints I've ever found are human-sized. So, I mean, in both, well, I found them a few times, but in each case where I found them, it just didn't appear to be a place where a human would have walked. Two of the times, one was in April, cold weather. The other time was in October, cold weather. So not too many people's going out barefoot in the mud in that cool weather. I always hear people talking about watching out for timber rattlers and copperheads, and which, you know, I agree, but I have never seen a snake in the woods. I know they're out here. I've never seen one. Probably walked right by them. Maybe even stepped on one. I don't know. I mean, I tried to keep an eye out for stuff, but I've never seen one. I just worry about Wally, but he's pretty close to the ground, so I think he would see him. And he don't get near him. So we got this big old black rat snake under our house that comes out. It's 5 foot long. He just barks at it. He don't go near it. He stays a good ways away. So hopefully, if there is any snakes out here, he'll spot them and bark and let me know. Another good thing about having a dog with you. I always wonder though, does he keep Sasquatches away because they know he'll sense them before I will, so maybe they don't come as near. I know they're curious, so they'd want to come up and check me out, but they probably don't come near if he's with me. I don't know. I didn't have him with me when I saw those eyes in Alabama. I always wonder, would I have even seen those if he was with me? Would they have come that close? Because they were definitely close. I think there is a creek down here. That's good. I didn't think I was near a water source. It looks like I am. Glad to know that. And I would venture to say nobody is going back in these woods right here. I mean, the only place to even access it is up that little drive where I'm camped. So I'd say this is a pretty secluded spot. Yeah, we got a little creek down here. Now, I don't know if it'd necessarily be a food source, but it might be a source for a drink. Definitely better to drink running water than stagnant water. I have to look for prints down here. The bad thing is I gotta go back up this hill. Pretty gravelly. Probably not much chance of a print. Got a little bit of a creek running through there though. It's definitely a squatchy area. Like I said, I don't think anybody's walking in these woods right here. Most people are not going to go where there's no trail. Hunters might, but usually you see some shell casings or something if hunters have been around. I haven't seen any trash or anything down here. Show off. You don't have no trouble with these hills. And this one's really not even that steep, but it's steep enough I could fall pretty easy. A lot of shale. I always wonder if they use something like that for a knife. Or do they even need a knife? They just tear it apart. Their strength. It looks like you get a lot of rain. That water probably runs way up in there. Cut all that out. What are you doing, Wally? Huh? We gotta look for prints, but I don't think we're gonna find any down here. All this gravel. They might be up on that ridge watching me right now. Maybe I should do some rock clacks like I was hearing yesterday. I think I will. Sit here on this log, do some rock clacks. It don't really sound like a rock clack, does it? Surprised Wally didn't get on this log. He loves to jump up and walk on logs. I bet he does when he comes back. He'll jump up right there and walk over to me. That's my prediction. We'll see. He's got to explore over there first. Yeah, this is definitely a squatchy area. I see something over there. Kind of looks like remnants of a building or something. See, there he is. Told you. I know Wally. Don't I? There's something right. Let's see. Yeah. Right there. Wait. Right there. It looks like the remnants of a, looks like a stone wall or something. I'm gonna have to walk over there and check that out. I bet it's really old, if that's what it is. I mean, I would guess if there was a house where I'm camped at, that had to have been over 100 years ago. Don't drink that water, Wally. Hey, don't drink the water. I'll give you some when we get back. I should have brought a bottle and brought your bowl, but I didn't. I usually do. But it's not that hot, so I didn't think it was just going to be a big deal. Alright, let's go over and see what that is, Wally. Let's see if that's a remnant of a building over there. Wow, there's a big old tree over there. Definitely have to go over and look at that tree. I am keeping an eye out for snakes since I mentioned that, but like I said, I've just never seen any. But I wouldn't want to be way out here like this and get bit by a copperhead or timber rattler. Way out here and have to make it back to camp and then try to drive to a hospital. Definitely don't want to do that. Oh, that's 2 trees. I thought that was one. I don't know what I was looking at over here. That from back there it looked like a stone wall. Huh, I don't know what I was looking at. Maybe it was that. Maybe I was looking at that bank right there. I don't know. Hard to tell. Now that I'm over here, I can't even tell what I was looking at. This is some old woods here. A lot of Wayne National Forest is small trees, but these are some big ones. They haven't been doing any lumbering back here, which is good. I'm glad to see that. I hate seeing them cut down them trees. I mean, they take 100 years to grow, and then somebody comes along and cuts it down because they want to make a little money off of it. Something slid down the bank right there. Yeah, I think finding prints would be a pretty slim chance. Kind of looks like a flat foot stood right there. Maybe the ball of the foot. I don't know. Hard to say. Nothing definitive. Let's see where anything's come down this hill. Well, right there, I guess. Right. Something slid down right there. Looks like it had a path coming down from up there somewhere. Probably deer. Or any kind of critter, I guess. Yeah, I don't think this creek is a food source, but it's a water source. And if it's a water source, I guess that makes it a food source. Because all the critters are coming down here to get a drink. Yeah, I saw them 2 trees from a distance. They were right. Looked like there was one tree I was seeing. So I thought that was a really big tree. I see some deer hoof prints. I don't see anything sunk in this gravel. I would think something with a lot of weight would leave some kind of impression. Something walked there. It could have been Wally though. Test my theory right here. Yep. Actually leaves a pretty good print. If I do find one, of course, I left my tape measure. This is probably where they would come down, if they come down to get a drink, where all this rock is, so they don't leave no prints. Looks like a path right here. Something's come down. I don't really see any critter prints. That kind of almost looks like a print with toes. A really small one though. I don't know. It does look like toes. It's a odd print. I mean, it doesn't look like a coyote or raccoon or bear even. Hey, don't, no. I'm always afraid he's going to step right in. Take a look at this a little better. Nope, don't step in it, Wally. I don't know. I don't know if that's a print or not. I just saw where it comes down like this, but I think that's not part of the print. I actually think it's just a round pad that stepped there, so it could have been, don't drink that, could have been a good sized bobcat, I guess, or a mountain lion. I don't know. That's the one thing I forgot to grab is my bear spray. So we don't run into mountain lion. I don't know how good this selfie stick will work to run them off. There's an X up there, top of the hill. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna go over there where you can get a better look. See how I can get up there. Now watch me not be able to find it. It's over here, I think. Yeah. That's right. I'm pointing right at it, but it's right up there. When I look at my hand, it looks like my hand's pointing way above it. But when I look at the screen, I was pointing at it. Let me get over here, you can get a good look at it. Right there. That looks like an interesting area right there. I don't know if that's really an X though. Trees are way different in size. I mean, it's a letter X, but I don't know Not like what you normally see is. I don't know. I might have to go up there and take a look. Man, mosquitoes are pretty bad right here. I remember seeing Hellbent Holler. They were down in, there's a robin eggshell right there. Where's it? Right there. I was watching Hellbent Holler. They were down in South Carolina, and up at the top of the hill, they saw a root ball like that right there. But when they got up there, it wasn't actually a root ball. It was like a nest, which is kind of got me wondering about this one up here, where by that X. There's something to the left of that X right there. I don't know if that's a root ball, something big, whatever it is. Only one way to find out. I have to go up there and see. So anyway, they were saying, you know, just walking by, you look up there and you think, oh, that's just a root ball where a tree fell. And then, unless you actually went up there and looked, you'd never know it was a nest or shelter, or I don't know what it was exactly, but it's pretty good size. There's Wally posing. I have to see if I can get a screenshot of that. That's a good shot. I told you he likes to get on logs. He loves to. When I was down in Kentucky, there's this log that fell across this little ravine. It was probably, I need something to hold on to. It was probably a 10, 12 foot drop. He walked across that log. I was afraid he's going to fall off, but he did. Made it across there and turn around and come back. Huh. Wonder what made that spot on that tree right there. Because this tree fell on the other side of it. So I thought, well, maybe that tree hit it on the way down, but I don't know. Got a scar from something. All right, we're gonna work our way up here to the X. There it is. Doesn't look as impressive now that I'm getting closer to it as it did from the bottom of the hill. Like I said, these trees are totally different sizes. Usually when you see an X structure, it's two similar sizes. Of course, when you see an X, it just makes you want to go see what's beyond it. I don't know what I was looking at. It looks like there's something up there. We're going to have to go all the way up, I guess. Like I said, that's how you find stuff. Going off trail. Going where people don't normally go. It kind of looks like a structure up there. Of course, I don't have my tape measure. If it is, I'll just have to estimate it. But I worked in construction for 35 years. I'm pretty good at guessing measurements within. I mean, if it's like 10 foot or less, I'm pretty accurate usually. Pretty close. I mean, that's what I did every day for 35 years. So a lot of times you had to, I did insulation work, and the insulation came in 3-foot pieces. So a lot of times you just kind of look up in the air, eyeball it, get an idea how many pieces you're going to need. You get pretty good at it if you do it enough. And cutting it, taking measurements. I guess it's not a structure. Just where a tree fell over. Got all excited there for a second. Did you hear the excitement? I gotta go all the way up. I gotta see what's up here. I always think that they hang out on the ridge tops. I mean, anybody knows the ridge top's a tactical advantage. And that's why somebody like me couldn't get out of breath for it gets even halfway up. You got plenty of time to disappear before I get to them. I keep seeing stuff, I think, man, that might be a structure. I think it's just trees that are down. Probably wind blowing over top of this ridge, taking trees down. Just trees that fell. Well, I know. At least I made it up here. So far, haven't really seen anything. I mean, that X, and I don't even really consider that an X because it's two different trees, two different sizes. What I think of when I think of an X structure is where they're very similar in size. They're on about a 45-degree angle, and they cross right about in the center. Chances of that happening naturally, it's possible, but it's a lot slimmer chance that they'd meet right in the middle. Well, it's always good to know what's around you. So now I know what's back here. I definitely think this is a squatchy area. I don't know if they'll try to come in, if they're around here, if they'll try to come in close to camp or not. Maybe once Wally's in the tent, maybe that's what happened last night when Wally started carrying on. Maybe if it is, it really caught me off guard, because where he was, well, I guess I don't know where he was looking when he was ground, because he was in the tent, but where he was at in the tent, the back of the tent was pointed toward the road, and there's only a small patch of woods between the tent and the road, so that would be the last place I would expect anything, but never know. That's why I was facing the other way and got my parabolic aimed the other way, away from the road, because I was pointed this way. But I was sitting right there, and I had my thermal on already. So I mean, as soon as he started growling, I picked it up and started looking. I had my headphones on. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear anything take off. I didn't hear anything walk up. This might be the first sign of human activity. Look like painter's tape. That's the only thing I've seen since I came back here. No beer cans, no bottles, no food wrappers, nothing. It's a painter's tape. Maybe Bigfoot was going to do some trim work on his X, painted it. He does that to me so many times. I thought I just saw him go down the hill. And then next thing, right after I saw him go down the hill, I heard something behind me coming. And it was him. He doubles back like that sometimes. And always surprises me, because I'm thinking he's one direction, all of a sudden there he is coming from another way. Yeah, it's a good thing I got this app. I mean, I'm sure I could find my way back if I had to without it, but I'd probably be going way out of my way and it'd take me a while. I might come out at the road way far down the road. But with this app, I can pretty much go right directly back. I remember when we were in Alabama, I was with Martin from Camping with Sasquatch. He met me down there, and we camped at a hunter's camp in the Talladega, and me and him both grabbed our recorders, and we were going to drop them deep in the woods, and I dropped mine, and he said he wanted to go back to this one area. This is where he wanted to put it. So Wally followed him. He went back there. He was gone for quite a while, and I just sat there on a log and waited on him. And then when they finally come back, we had gone off trail quite a ways, and it was down a hill, and it was kind of rough, not real easy where we went. So when he got back, I said, I think camp is right over that way, which it was a lot easier walk, but there's so because we were going to go back up the hill and across all that to get to the trail and then come out the trail. I said, I think it's right over that way. So I called my wife. I didn't have my app going like a dummy. So I called my wife and I told her to blow the shofar so we'd know which direction camp was. And then she did, and yeah, we went right to it. So there you go, another use for the shofar too. Came in handy. Big tree there that went down. Real big one. Trying to figure out how I'm going to get across that ravine right there. I don't think I want to try walking that bog, although it's pretty big. I guess I could. With my luck, it'd probably roll about halfway across. I don't know. I don't think I will. No chance. No sense taking a chance on getting hurt that way out here. Just to try to take a shortcut. Because ain't nobody gonna come get me. If I broke a leg, I'd have to hobble back. I don't want to do that. Gotta have some sense. And I don't usually, but sometimes I do. Huh, Wally? There he goes, watch. Right across that ravine. That's what he did in Kentucky. And it was a lot smaller than this. It was only about 10 inches in diameter. This thing's probably close to 2 foot. You're crazy, Wally. You are crazy. Don't you go getting hurt and make me carry you all the way back. You'd get pretty heavy if I had to carry you that far. Yeah, that was quite a thing. My grandsons do this Bible quizzing where they memorize. It's pretty amazing how much they memorize. And they do quizzing with it, and they go enter these competitions. So they had one down in Pensacola, Florida. So I told my wife we should go down there to support them, because I'm thinking that'd be a good chance to do some squatching. So we went to a B&B in Pensacola, stayed there with my son, and that's where I ended up seeing those eyes in Alabama. I drove up after their competition, which wasn't over till like 10:30. Time I got out of there, it was almost 11, and I drove an hour north into Alabama from Pensacola to that. Well, at first I went to that Boggy Hollow Wildlife Management Area just because of the name of it. And then I went to the Conecuh National Forest, and that's where I saw those eyes. But then after that, I mean, I wish that was our last night, so I really wish we would have been there a little longer, because I would have liked to have gone back to Conecuh and took measurements and tried to do a little bit of a follow-up on that. But we were leaving the next day. Had to be checked out of the B&B, so that next, like at 11, I think, the next day. So I had already contacted Miss V from she used to have the Not So Perfect Bigfoot show, and she changed it to the Muddy Creek podcast. Anyway, I'm kind of friends with her, so I sent her a message and asked if she knew anybody in Alabama could point me in the right direction. So she hooked me up with Mark Green, and he told me about that hunter's camp up there in the Talladega. So we drove up there, and you better be into primitive camping if you're going to stay there. Because there's nothing. There's no fire ring. There's no picnic table. Well, it's like where I'm at right now. Except this is for hunters, and there is a road going in and out that makes a big loop. And there's a lot of nice areas for a tent, or even a small camper probably too. So anyway, we went up there, and we went all the way back as far as you could go where it looped. Camped right there, right by the wood line, as close as we could get anyway. And we were camping there, and I had posted it in my group. I had posted about the eyes, of course, and then posted about going to this hunter's camp. And Martin commented on it. He said, "It sounds like you're going same places I've been going." He said, "I'm in the Talladega right now." Only he was like an hour north or something like that. And when I saw his picture, I looked at his picture, and then as soon as I saw his picture, I recognized him. He's got the channel Camping with Sasquatch. I didn't recognize him by name, just by his picture. So anyway, I told him where we were at, and he came down and camped with us there. Had a good time. It was just us and him. He was up on a hill. We couldn't see him from where we were camped. But he was up the hill, and we were down right by the trailhead. It was called the Pinhoti Trail. And it goes a long ways. Actually, it comes out where he was camped at, up in about 80 miles north, I think. So now you know the rest of the story. And now I got to go up that big old hill to get back to camp. Luckily, there's several big trees. I'm spotting them right now, looking to sit on, take a little break, catch my breath. You don't want to hear me panting and gasping for air. I need to get back to the cardiologist. I keep putting it off. So I got a cow valve. My aorta had to replace with one from a cow back in 2009, and the doctor said they're good for 10 to 15 years. So that's been 17 years ago. And here lately I've been getting out of breath pretty easy. That's why I take several breaks going up a hill like this. I guess a cow normally lives 15 to 20 years, and they usually take an organ from them when they're at least 5 years old. So that's why he said 10 to 15 years. So hopefully I got one that's gonna live, would have lived a long time. So I really don't want to have to do that surgery again. I could have had a mechanical valve put in. That's what my mom did. It's supposed to last you the rest of your life, but she got scar tissue buildup and had to go in and have it replaced again. So I thought, well, if that's the case, what's the advantage there? Because if you get that, you have to be on blood thinner. And I worked in construction, worked with knives every day. I didn't want to be on blood thinner. And if you cut yourself, you might have to go to the emergency room or you bleed out. So, I mean, it's all the time getting scrapes and stuff, cuts, working in construction. There's a shotgun shell right there. So I guess there has been people back in here. I figured the only people be coming back in here is hunters or squatchers. That looks like a board. Huh. Kind of looked like a board. Just look. Oh. Yeah. I guess it's not. I thought it was a board there for a second from something. It just looked really flat. Alright, I guess I'll quit rambling and start going up this hill. I'm always saying to myself, you should carry that nice hiking stick you got that you never bring. Be nice for hills like this, going up and going down. I always forget it. It's not even in the van, it's at home. There's a tree break over there, which I don't usually pay that, right where Wally's at. I don't pay that much attention to them, because usually when you see one, if you go over and look, there's a tree laying there that probably broke it when it fell. And maybe if I saw several in a line, I mean, I point them out, document it, but, oh, that's not even a tree break. That's just a limb that fell and landed there. If I saw them in a line, or it looked like a fairly young, healthy tree, and there was no trees laying on the ground anywhere around it, then, even then, you gotta wonder, was it snow load, was it a wind gust? But I have seen some that were like that, and the part that was on the ground where it was broke, there was hardly any branches on it, so no leaves really. Look at Wally up there. He's up there going up that tree. He was going up that tree that's laying. Huh. He's such a goofball. Anyway, I've seen a few times where one's broke off and there's no limbs on it, hardly. So I can't see it being snow load or a wind gust if there's no leaves or anything. I mean, the wind's not going to blow against a 6-inch straight pole and break it. Not unless it's top heavy, like full of limbs with leaves on them, or with a lot of snow on it. So, just things to consider. I think I'm going the right way. I think I remember that branch hanging right there. Uh-oh. Another sign. So, there are people coming back here at some point. That bottle looked fairly old. But the shotgun shell, didn't look that old. Alright, I'm going to shut this off. Catch my wind, catch my breath. There's some more of that barbed wire fence. Tree fell on it. Huh. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, Wally's giving me the look. He said break's over. Back up the hill. Keep me going, don't you, Wally? Slave driver. I need to get a saddle for you. I actually did, when I had Tank, sometimes I'd let him help pull me up a hill. He was all muscle. Poor Wally, he don't have the muscle like Tank did. But he's a good boy. Some pretty big trees here. Yeah. That one there, right there. That one right there is about the same size. Probably real close to 3 foot in diameter. And then that one back there might even be 4 foot at the bottom. Alright, Wally, we're going to find our way through these briars. Get back to camp. I just looked at my app. It's only been a third of a mile that I've walked. Sure feels like farther. That was a rough third of a mile. Downhill and then back uphill and then back downhill and back uphill again. I might have heard a knock. It's always when I'm walking that I hear something like that. Then when I stop, I don't hear nothing. Said I went a third of a mile, and the ascent was 161 feet. At least it wasn't real steep. I don't know if I would have even tried it if it was real steep. Not because being out of breath, but because I want to Take a chance on falling, getting hurt, being stuck out here. Gotta watch it. Get to looking for evidence. Your mind will get you in trouble. Tell you, you need to go check that out. Even though it's a bad idea. Just like walking through this poison ivy right here is a bad idea. When I was a kid, well, even when we had kids, when they were young, when we go camping, I'd go around and pull up all the poison ivy around so the kids wouldn't get in it. Never bothered me. I mean, I pulled it up all the time, never had a problem. Now, I just look at it and it break out in hives and itching. Gets me bad anymore. I try to keep Wally out of it. Just hit the button by accident. I was trying to get through there. Sorry, Wally. This is a bad spot for you. All these briars here. See if I can get them out of your way. See if I have my walking stick. That's another good thing about a walking stick. Get these briars right out of your way. Here, Wally. Let's see if I can move this one. So you can get through here. All right. I think you can get through here now, Wally. Going through. Here. I don't want you stepping on them, getting it in your paws. All right, here you go, Wally. All right, come on. I got it there. Got to blaze a path for you. Usually he'll go under them or find an opening, but that spot, there wasn't too many places he could go. And he's going to follow me, so. Sometimes he'll look at me like, dummy, I'm not going that way. And he'll walk around and find a spot that's real easy to get to. I don't think there's too many spots where it's real easy to get through there. That's for sure. Now, if we end up no ticks, that's going to be a miracle. There's stinging nettles over there, but at least I have pants on. Years ago, I had a friend, we'd go fishing all the time. He'd take me to these spots, and I'd be wearing shorts. I'm thinking we're going to go wading in the creek. And he'd take me to some spot where we got to go across a field full of stinging nettles. And he'd just laugh. He'd be wearing jeans. I just grit my teeth and make my way through there. We always thought that was funny. I didn't see the humor. Yeah, these are stinging nettles right here. I remember my grandkids, they're like, what's it feel like? I said, well, you gotta brush up against it and see. They found out real quick why they're called that. So at least it doesn't sting very long. Alright, I'm going to have to break down and look at my app because I'm having to hack my way through, so I don't want to be hacking my way through in the wrong direction. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I got to go this direction. We are getting close. We're almost there. I should have known Wally's going the right way. Just follow Wally. He'll lead me back. This looks like, oh, I see a camp right over there. Just got to figure out how to get over there without going through all these briars. Well, he's already back. Almost there. Anybody can walk a trail. What is that? Right there where Wally's at. I'm trying to figure out what that is. Looks like it's ceramic. Looks like it's, I don't know, I thought maybe it's like a small chimney or something. Not sure what it is. There's Camp Wally. We made it. All right. Hope you had as much fun as I did. I need it. Oh my goodness.